What I'm using here is an open bladed spoke shave, and by open blade I mean the blade is not in any type of carrier like this one is. You can see the difference.
Yes.
And the open bladed spoke shave is meant for working on curves. And this would be a curve right here, and being the blade being exterior lets me follow the curve of the wood and plane it down, just like that.
How long have you been crafting your tray?
I've been woodworking about 45 years.
You do beautiful work, by the way.
Thank you. This is a piece of mesquite I'm working on. Mesquite's a very hard, dense wood, very easy to work with, and mesquite is the only wood that shrinks in a 1-to-1 ratio. So when it dries out, it shrinks 1% this way and 1% this way. So when you turn around bowl and it dries out, it's still going to be round, unlike oak that is a 3-to-1 ratio.
I should have brought my regular camera. This thing's really hard to hold steady. It's going to take me...
Come down first Friday. I'm down in front of the corner of time on first Friday.
Oh, excellent.
Got a little grain change right there, a little bit of tear out, but that'll be easily fixed.
What's the average for a mesquite spoon to start from, like, okay, let's talk about cutting down the mesquite and finding a good piece of wood.
I usually don't cut down mesquite because it's easy to find already cut down.
All right.
Being in Texas, there's always mesquite. Somebody's always just cut down a mesquite tree, so I usually, most of my mesquite is very low cost or free. If you buy mesquite, it's a very expensive wood to buy.
And then when you start blocking it out, and it's blocked out, and you start doing what you're doing now, is it within a few hours that it's...
Oh, usually somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours I can have a completed spoon. And that's going from a chunk of wood to a finished product that's ready to sell. See, I'm getting some grain changes here on my wood. Mesquite's very pretty, but the grain changes a lot on you. You can think of grain like fish scales. You run your hand backwards down fish scales, you're going against the grain. Well, in wood, you want to cut with the grain or cut with the fish scales. And what I'm using here is called a spoke shave. Called a shave horse. This whole apparatus I'm sitting on is a shave horse. The shave horse came out of continental Europe in the 1300s, primarily a German invention. It just so happens that I'm sitting on an English version of a shave horse, and you can always tell an English version because it has two vertical uprights here for your legs. A German version has one piece of wood in the middle, one leg in the middle, and a big block of wood that's called a dumb head.
What is it called?
A dumb head.
Well, that's me.
It usually gets a snicker from the little kids. So, but it's a very efficient foot vise. I'm holding this part down with my foot, and then when I want to reposition, I just lift up my foot, and I can reposition and go back to work.
Did you make this one, or this horse you're sitting on? Or
oh yeah, shave horses are typically made by the woodworkers who use them. And there's as many different styles of shave horses as there are woodworkers. There's no right or wrong way to make them. It's kind of like a spoon. There's no right or wrong way to make it. The end result is to look like a spoon.
What got you interested in starting the trade to begin with?
Well, my dad and my granddad were carpenters, and I'd worked with them for a few years in carpentry, and I moved to Texas, and I didn't have that option anymore, and I'd already been doing a little bit of wood turning and everything, so I just, kind of my love and passion for wood, I started building furniture, lamps, doing a lot of wood turning on the lathe, and then I started doing a lot of hand carving, about 20 years ago, what I'm doing now. And now I'm doing a lot of wooden spoons or Treenware. And treen means from the tree, T-R-E-E-N. You see I had a grain change there, I had a little bit of tear out, but part of being a woodworker is knowing how to fix your mistakes.
Does it sort of dictate which way it goes? Each piece has its own, you know, story, I guess? Or
the wood tells me which way I need to carve the bowl. It's whether it's a push cut or pull cut, with the grain, across the grain. Every piece of wood's different, and I'll take my first cut, and I'll know from there which way I need to go. And it's
a breathing, living thing. Even after it's been cut, it still does it change much over time?
It's a wood. It will absorb moisture. Heat and cold will affect it a little bit, but moisture will affect it even more. Humidity, obviously, being in this part of the Texas, humidity will affect it. So
very cool.
Not finished, not a sellable product yet, but very close. A little bit of sanding, and then finish on. Put some beeswax and mineral oil finish on it. And be ready to go.
And your name again?
J.D. Bolich, B-O-L-I-C-H.
And how can people find your work online?
They can't find me online.
How do they get a hold of your spoons if they wanted to buy one?
They're going to have to find me where I'm working.
Awesome. And this is
wherever I'm demonstrating. I do have a Facebook page that I try to post where I'm going to be.
When that Facebook page is facebook.com/
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'll find J.D. Bolich.
Yeah, it's J.D. Bodger is what it is. So,
Bodger, okay.
But I do First Fridays downtown Bryan, do some museum work, some libraries, volunteer for Texas State Parks, Washington, Nebraska State Park, Barrington Living History Farm.
Awesome.
My wife and I volunteer out there. So
well,
I'm around
I'll bring my camera on next First Friday and get some good footage.
That sounds good.
Thank you very much.
You bet.